What's up, beautiful people? Ian here, and today I am going to talk about this Dunu Talos Planar IEM. And they are asking for 200 US dollars for these IEM. And in this video, I'm going to find out if they are worth that 200 US dollars. Now, as usual, I'll go through the specifications, the fit and comfort, the accessories, the sound performance of this, and then I'll come up with my conclusion if they are worth that 200 US dollars. Now, this video will be timestamped, so for those of you who want to skip around, please feel free to do so. Okay, now before I begin, a word from my sponsor, Hifigo. Thank you so much, Hifigo, for sponsoring this video. I appreciate it very much. But guys, rest assured that whatever I say in this video is my own words. This video is not scripted. Hifigo will be watching this video together with you guys. Okay, now let's begin. This is the box itself. Comes in a I think most of the planar IEM boxes comes like so, with the picture of the IEM in front, the name of the Dunu Talos. By the way, this is a planar plus balanced armature IEM. Okay, so that's the plus point for that $200. Now at the back you got their specs, so let's just quickly go through. The planar size is a 14.6mm dual chambered dual sided auto dynamic driver. Okay, the balanced armature is a custom dual super tweeter. The frequency response is 5 to 40,000 Hz. The impedance is 16 ohms at 1 kHz. The sensitivity is 100 at 1 kHz, and I think that's the most important thing lah. Now, in the box itself, you will find some paperwork. Okay, I'm not going to go through that, and a very nice case. Now, this case, right, is very well thought out. Okay, the zipper is not bad lah. It's very good zipper, good quality zipper, silver in color. I wish it was maybe gold. I like gold. Okay, with the Dunu logo in front. Now, once it's open, right, it's like a purse. You know, it doesn't open all the way so that your ear tips all fall out when, you know, accidentally sometimes your butterfinger, you open and the whole case open and your whole tips all fall out. No, this will not, this will prevent that, okay? So there's a pouch here, a pocket here for you to put all your ear tips inside, and also the additional 1/4" adapter, okay? And the cleaning brush, which I'll talk about later. Anyway, no need to talk lah. Alright, so that one is okay lah. This is a fabric type of finish, and is okay lah. It's a pretty soft type of feel to it, and it's hard case, so it protects your IEM. Okay, that's the most important part. Now, of course, just now I mentioned there's a 1/4" adapter, so this one you can plug into your hi-fi set, your amplifier, or whichever. Okay, then a cleaning brush, very simple. You cleanse your nozzle. Okay. Then comes a whole bunch of ear tips. Now there are 3 types. There is the wide bore and the normal bore and cylinder type of ear tip. I don't know what to call this type of ear tip, but it's a pretty unique ear tip to me. This is my first time seeing this type of ear tips. And I've tried it lah. Okay, not a fan of this, not a fan of this, but I'm a fan of this. Okay, so this is the normal bore ear tip, and I have been using the medium size ear tip. Okay, so this is the ear tip I've been using. It's pretty stiff, it's on the stiff side, okay, but it's okay lah, it works. For the wide bore, it increases the treble, and it's a bit more of a softer side. The inner core is still a bit stiff lah, but this one is stiffer. Okay, this one is harder. Actually, both about the same lah. This one is a bit stiffer for inner core, but the outer core, this one is a bit stiffer lah. So I'm using the normal bore type of ear tips. Okay. So you got 3 types. The cylinder type, okay lah, it boosts the treble, which I think is a bit too much for me lah. So I'm sticking to the normal bore one. Okay, then the cable, right, comes with a very nice cable. This is a bronze color cable and it looks very nice. The cable is a 4-core cable. The termination is 3.5. Okay, it's got a velcro strap here with the Dunu logo on it, and it's got a Y splitter and a chain slider, both made of metal. Okay, and the ear hooks is nice and soft. Okay, very nice and soft ear hooks, so no complaints there. And then the 2-pin connector. Now this cable is a good quality cable, very nice and plush, and it's quite soft lah, okay, and it does not tangle on itself. So I find that this cable is pretty good, very good quality, right? Another plus point for that $200 US. Okay, so now let's talk about this IM itself. Wow, the design on this is so amazing. It's like a washed stone finish, right? It's a bit on the rough side. It's a special rough stone finish, like it's not like smooth finish. And the entire shell, right, is made of metal, right? You can't tell, but it's actually made of metal. And you got this gold trim on the sides that really accents the shape of the IEM itself, and on the middle itself also got this gold trim, which is very good. In the middle is the Dunu logo lah, okay, the Dunu logo. On top here is the special part. So this part here is actually the switch. You can either turn on or off the balance armature, right? So if you don't want too much treble, which I'll talk about the sound later, don't want too much treble, you can turn it off. Depending on the track also lah, you can turn on and off. Now the 2-pin connector is here, and the nozzle made of brass, and it's a pretty wide bore type of nozzle. Okay, now the entire shell itself is quite chunky lah, quite fat. Okay, now fit and comfort. Now these fit my ears not bad. Okay, it's just that this part here, right, a bit too long lah. Okay, and it does wobble. Okay, but other than that, no issues with the fit. Okay, this part here rests at the inner side of my ear, and yeah, so it's a pretty good fit for me. It's just that it's a bit too long. It doesn't go all the way in. This part here doesn't touch the back of my ear, so the IEM will wobble a bit. Okay, now let's talk about the comfort. No problem with the comfort. These are very comfortable to wear. I wear these the entire day. Okay, no issues, no pain. There's no sharp edges on this side here. Though there's a 90-degree sharp edge here, but this part here, because the IM is so fat, it doesn't touch the inner side of my ear. It juts out from the inner side of my ear. So it does not actually touch the inner side of my ear. Only up to here lah. This part here will touch my inner side of my ear. So this part here is quite chamfered off, so it doesn't actually cut into my ear. So it's okay, it's fine. So no problems, no physical fatigue wearing these IEMs. Right, so let's talk about the sound performance of these planar IEMs, and for that, let me bring up my graph. Be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back, and as you can see, I've graphed out these Dunu Talos planar IEM. Now, before I begin my full review, let me just give you my conclusion lah, whether this is worth that $200 US or not. Now, I listened to this or tested this lah with all my gear, which I have over here, okay, which I'm not going to go through lah. I've got all the gears lah, whatever you mentioned, I have it here, and I've listened to high resolution music files, okay, and that's how I came to my conclusion. Okay, now is this worth $200 US? My answer is yes and no. Okay, now let me explain. No, it's not worth $200 US is because of the price to performance ratio. I find that this one, right, is the asking price is a little bit too much based on the performance incremental that they produce lah. So when I listen to this as compared to the other planar IEMs, right, yes, it sounds in terms of the sound reproduction is better, but the incremental is not by a lot. Okay, so in conclusion, I find that this is a bit too expensive lah. Okay, now yes, it's worth that $200 US is because mainly on one thing lah, basically the technicalities lah. I find that the technicalities on this, right, is the best lah. Okay, from what I hear as compared to the other planar IEMs that I've heard lah. Very natural, very wide, very neutral sounding. One of the cleanest sounding IEM that I've heard. Okay, so yeah, so that is for that lah. So it depends on how you look at it. If I were to just buy this because of the technicalities, then yeah, it's worth that $200 US lah. But other than that, if I look at the other things, when I talk about performance, right, it includes the accessories, the fit and comfort and everything lah. It's not just the sound. Okay, now who is this for? I find that this is a neutral to natural type of tuning. So for those of you who likes to critically listen to your music, listen to the details of that track and analyze your track and really focus on listening on your track, then this is quite suitable for you lah. So people who listen to classical, to jazz, to orchestras, live performances, yeah, this is really suitable for you. But for those of you who listen to pop songs, bassy songs like basically R&B, techno, trance, then there are a lot of other cheaper options out there lah, I would say. I mean, you still can use this to listen to those genre of music. I'm not saying you can't, but there are other cheaper options lah. Okay, so that's my overall conclusion for these Dunu Talos Planar IM. Now let's go into the actual review in full. Now basically for the technicalities, right, the soundstage is very wide, not just to the sides, to the front and to the back and to the top as well, almost like as if I'm there. Okay, so it is a very immersive type of soundstage. So when I close my eyes, it sounds like I'm in that concert hall. So it's got that width, it got that deep depth, okay, and it's pretty far in terms of the depth, and it's got that height as well. Okay, and also the layering of the sound separation is very detailed. Now in the stage, right, you have your singer is in the front, is well positioned, you have your drums at the back, or you have your instruments at the side, you have your backup singers on this side, your violins on this side. It's very well laid out and very well spaced out as well. So and it's very precise. When I close my eyes, I can imagine where exactly that violin is coming from or where that sound is coming from. Okay, the detail retrieval is the best lah. I can hear more than the nuances of the details. So the songs that I listen to, those really high resolution songs where the files are really huge, the FLAC files, they produce a lot of details, and in order to reproduce that details or to deliver that detail to my ear, the IM is the one that deliver that lah. So the quality of that detail retrieval, right, on these is just above a lot of other IMs that I've heard lah. Okay, the resolution is definitely very good long. It's definitely a very, very resolving IM. Okay, so that's for the technicalities. Now let's talk about the sound signature and of course the different frequencies. Now basically, right, this is like more of a neutral to natural type of tuning, right? The bass is not elevated, in fact is a bit below the Hammond target. Now the sub bass is well controlled. It's got good body and full body actually, and it's well controlled type of sub bass. The sub bass is a very firm, very clear sub bass and very precise sub bass. When I listen to the sub bass, right, the rumble is a very solid, firm rumble at the bass floor. Okay, and that's where it stays. It doesn't bleed to the other frequencies. Okay, then the mid bass, I wouldn't. It's not very punchy. It's not very impactful, but the impact, right, is a very clean and very precise impact, and together with the neutral to natural type of tone, the impact is correct lah. It's not an impactful mid bass whereby it'll give me that thump that I will get an emotional response from it, or I get excited from that thump. It's a very correct thump. Okay, it's not overbearing type of thump or punch. Okay, so that's for the mid bass. Very clean mid bass lah. Okay, it does not bleed into the mids. Okay, now mids, the instrument sounds very clean, very correct, very precise, very neutral. Alright, it's not a warm sounding. There's no color to the sound that, like for example, the violins or the pianos, they sound very analytical. Okay, very sterile. Okay, those type of listening experience which I hear lah. Okay, now for me, right, I want to hear the details, and in order to hear that details, right, I don't want any color, because if it's too colored, too much bass, too much mid bass, I cannot hear that details. The key strike, the piano strike, the slide of the violin string, those details, right, those are the details that I want to listen out for, and this Planar IM will deliver that type of details to me with this type of tuning lah. Okay, so that's what I hear for the mids. Now vocals, in terms of male vocals and female vocals, they won't have that warm, authoritative tone in the presence of this track in whatever track you're listening to, they sound correct and the placement of that vocals, right, what I hear is that very precise, is correct. They are well presented in the stage itself. It's not an overpowering male vocal as well. They sound correct in terms of the positioning and also their tone. Okay, so male vocals won't have that really deep rumbly sound that they produce in a very warm IM. For this one, they sound correct. Okay, female vocals, same thing. They don't have that warmth and soothing listening experience, but they have that brightness and a little bit of sparkle when I turn on the balance armature. So as I mentioned, right, this can actually adjust the balance armatures. You can just turn it on and you can hear the balance armatures. If you turn it off, you won't hear the balance armatures. Okay, so when the balance armatures are turned on, the female vocals will have a bit more sparkle, in fact quite a lot more to a point whereby sometimes on certain tracks the female vocals may sound a little bit shouty. Okay, but other than that, it will make cymbal strikes and hi-hats more bitey. The female vocals also more bitey also when you adjust this. Now for female vocals, right, I find that the presence of the female vocals is just nice. Alright, it's not too present and too energetic. It's also not too laid back, and it just sounds correct. Okay, now for treble, I find that treble is okay. Is not overbearing type of treble. It's not dark as well. At the same time, it's not too airy also. So it's just nice type of treble Now, but if I were to turn on the balance armature, then the treble will sound a bit more, will give you a bit more bite, a bit more peaks. Okay, so I will find that sometimes for female vocals, they become a bit peaky okay, if you turn on the balance armatures. So for me, right, I will listen to usually it depends on my mood, it depends on the song that I'm listening to, and whether I want that bite or not. Okay, I want that body, the full body presentation or the delivery of that the treble to my ears. Okay, if I want that, and sometimes I really do want that because I'm actually quite a treble head, so I will turn on the balance armatures and listen to that, and I want that bite, that shrill. I like that shrill. Okay, now the airiness for this treble, right, is quite natural on just the planar mode but if you have the planar plus the balance armature mode on, then the treble may sound a little bit artificial because it will extend the air of the treble a bit more. Let me just turn it on. Okay, so this two lines here, right, the green line is actually just the planar mode, and then the purple line is actually the planar plus the balance armatures. So as you can see, right, the mid treble is increased when the balance armatures are turned on, and also the air is also increased so this two, right, will make the treble sound a bit artificial a bit too extended. It extends pretty much a lot okay, as compared to just the planar mode, and some people may like it, some people may not. For me, I like the planar mode okay, so yeah, but as I mentioned, right, it depends on the mood that I'm in, and also depends on the track that I'm listening to. Okay, so that's for the treble. So overall, right, I find that this tuning is a neutral to natural tuning, and is a very analytical and clinical type of tuning right. So that concludes my overall impression and thoughts about these Dunu Talos planar IEMs. I hope you guys learned something from this video, or even enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Alright, so that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.